we are back again in my craft room and thinking about page 3. Actually, I'm thinking about page 4 because, okay, here's what happened. I thought about a page. No sneak peeks, that's the next page. And it was too green to go after this. So what I decided was I was going to put that on the next page and design something else for this page. A couple of additions that I have put on again. I've used some of that velvet flocked sticky ribbon on each side of the page here, and also just on the edge of this bit here. And the reason is that when this closes, because I'm not having any on here, it kind of follows on because you can just see the edge of it on page 2. Oh, I keep on doing that, don't I? Okay, so on to page 3, and I've thought about half of the page, just half. So I'm going to put the book up for the moment, and I am going to write a piece of black base card, and it is at 10 1/4 by 7, and then I've scored it 1 inch from the end so that 1 1/4 inches across when the fold's in. Make sure that's nicely. It does not look straight, does it? 1 1/4. No, it's straight. Okay, and I'm having the hinge on the right hand side. So I'm going to work on this bit of the page first. Now then, oh, I've lost something. For my next bit, oh, there it is. Right, I'm having a flap here. And I've already prepared it because I was watching Queen Bee 063. Absolutely amazing. And she had a Christmas album, and I love looking through people's Christmas albums, especially if they load them up and they've got photographs in, because I'm basically really, really nosy. And she had this, it was something to do with a mini printer, and it prints 2 pictures out, and she had these 2 pictures with a ribbon round, and I thought that looks really lovely, and it really inspired me to do this, just this flap. So what I did is I cut a piece of card. This was 5 1/2 by 7, and I put a little flap in, so the card is 5 by 7. So what's left is 5 by 7 with the 1/2 inch hinge here. And then I punched holes. They were supposed to be in the middle. See, mine's slightly crooked. It looks slightly crooked to me. Anyway, I punched holes halfway up, roughly. Put in some, stuck on my paper. Make sure the holes were there. And put eyelets on. And I actually used, these are really old again. These are from my stash. They're Dovecraft Christmas eyelets, but they've got some really nice, slightly metallic-y sort of red ones in. So, you know, really quite pretty. So I used a couple of those. Then on this side, okay, I measured up paper and I only stuck it in the middle. And what these aren't actually eyelets on here. They are eye candy eyelet brads. You don't get many in a pack. You get 20 in a pack. I just thought that would be easier to use, and then basically threaded the ribbon through. I could have just done it and used the eyelets, and that was it, just one eyelet, but to me that would look, you'd have the on one side, the odd end of the eyelet. I could have used eyelets here, but yeah, I would have had the odd end of the eyelet showing on one side or the other. So yeah, and then so when it's open this way, you and stick something under the ribbon, and when it's open this way, it's going to have something under the ribbon. So, and this ribbon is just going to be tied in a simple knot just on the side here. Okay, so that's that. So thank you QueenBee063, and that's her YouTube name. Right, then I've got a scrap piece of card, which is, let's have a look, it is 5 inches high, and I measured it at, this is actually 6 3/8, and I scored it in 3/4 of an inch inside, so that I have, when the hinges are folded in, this bit here measures 4 7/8, and it's basically so that it can fit inside here, so it's not going to show on the outside. Okay. Oh, and then I actually cut this out separately because the die will not fit across here. It cuts it off completely, so I just cut out a separate bit, and I thought that would be really sweet. Okay, next I need this. So I'm just going to make sure these edges are nicely scored down and burnished. I don't know whether everything looks crooked to me today. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to get some, I will get some tape ready on here. And the reason I've got a 1 inch hinge on here, 1 inch flap, is because it's going to be quite a laden page, and obviously if it's quite a heavy page, I like to have it so that it's got a good enough hinge there to hold everything together. It's not going to loosen up. Stick 2 rows of double-sided tape, and once again I'm using the red line tape. I know it's more of a hassle than using score tape or anything, but for a start it's cheaper. I think it works really, really well, and it's a good quality tape. So that's on ready. Next, I'm going to, I've just cut in the corners rather badly on that side by the looks of it. Originally I was going to have it up this way. I'm going to have it this way. So, this goes on. So onto this flap that I've made. Tape backing up. Oh, I haven't glued this back down yet. That was what I was supposed to do. I'll do that in a second. Glue onto the flap, over the tape. And now this, I want to have right on the edge of this flap. Like that. Okay, and then the pocket is going here. I really like this idea. It looks so lovely when you've got it here with the ribbon. And she had, I can't remember what colour hers was. I know she had a white ribbon across it, and it looked, oh, it just looks so pretty. And I thought that it really inspired me. I really liked it. So I'm going to loosely tie this. My hands aren't working very well today. cut that down later. But it's also good as well because then you can use that to open the flap. Okay, so next I want my pocket here. Okay, so let's get my tape on the back here. When you put your pockets on, once again I'm going to teach my grandmother how to suck eggs. You put the tape really close to the score line when you put your tape on your pockets, because that's obviously where the most, that's where the pocket's going to have to work mostly, so you need to stick it close to the score edge so it doesn't lift. I think my scissors need tightening, they feel a bit loose. So I saved that bit because it's really good for using for magnets. And so I really, really hate waste. You know what's coming next, don't you? Yep. You want a bit of tape along the bottom so nothing falls out your bottom. I think that's my new catchphrase. Stick your tape there so nothing falls out your bottom. Of course, this is only how far I've got to designing this page. I haven't actually thought about anything else. Get this tape backing off. I'm going to stick a little bit of extra tape on there, I think. Just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to stop flapping now. I'm not really. I'm just going to say I am, to make it sound good. Glue on top of that tape and a bit along the bottom. And this is going just on what will be the inside of the flap. And hopefully, plenty of room. I'm going to squish that over slightly. Just a little bit. Okay. And you do need that gap here because of all the bulk that you have from the eyelets here. Okay, and then I'm going to see that fits so nicely. See if I can see the way the pocket ends here. This fits so nicely with just that little bit cut off each side. Yeah, so that's going to go on there, obviously. I may trim it down slightly, and I do mean slightly, because there's not a lot of room there. Decorative papers, decorative papers. Then I have to decide what I'm doing this side. And obviously the flap's going to open up. So I'm going to decorate this bit and figure out what I'm going to do for the rest, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've decorated this first bit. I changed my mind about the pocket and I cut it down. So I wanted the pocket to be roughly the same height as the ribbon, so I cut it down, and it was much easier actually to put this little decorative die cut piece on top before it was stuck down, because then I could just sort of like trim the top. Then I die cut the, this is actually die cut into the page rather than being stuck on, and that's easier to do without all this, so do that first, and then I just put in a little tuck spot because I really love that paper, and it's got bleed right in the middle. So that's the first half of the page. So, and then it opens up this way, and obviously this is the outside of the page. The outside of the page, the spine is over way onto the left. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do to the rest of it. That's how that bit's been decorated. So I'm going to get myself prepared and then get the rest of it done and figured out in my head, I think. Yeah, I'm going to do the rest of it and then I'll be back. Okay, I've had an idea and I thought I'd film this just in case it works out. Right, I've got an A4 piece of paper, and from the bottom I've marked it 2-inch intervals. So it's marked at 2, 4 and then 6 inches. And I've roughly marked down the middle. Now I'm going to take my die and with the 2-inch strip, so not the wide strip at the top, the 2-inch strip I've marked closest to me, with the die pointing downwards, so the tip of the snowflake pointing down, I've lined it up against that line and centred. And I'm going to do the same onto this line and the same onto this line. Then I'll be back. Okay, I've cut my pocket down, that's what it's going to be, to 9 inches, 7 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, get this right. Right, I'm going to find the centre of my paper, which is easy because I have the line marked there. So that's the centre along the 6. Now I want to figure out how wide I want this pocket. Right, the reason I'm doing it this way is to reduce bulk as much as I can. So this is going to be a straight to pocket page, there's going to be no flaps, but do I want it to go right to the ends of the pockets? Probably I do. So from the 6, this then has to be 9, half of 9 1/4. So that's, oh crikey, here we go. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 4 and 5/8 in one direction from the 6. So I'm scoring that 10 and 5/8. Like I said, the centre is lined up to the 6. So I'm doing it 10 and 5/8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And this way, 1 and 3/8. Okay, so that's where I have to cut it if I'm not having flaps. And I don't think I am having flaps. Right, so the next thing I have to do is side. I know that's the edge, each edge of the page. Might take it slightly smaller. I have to decide how long I want the actual pockets to be, because I have to slip these papers, which should be fun, which is another good reason why you've got the mark there. So, from there, sorry, getting my head in the way again. I've lined up the 6 once again to the centre mark, and I think I'm going to go out to that side. So I'm going to very carefully go from the 2 all the way up to the 10. And I hope that's cut through. Not quite. There we go. And do the same on the lower one. So line up into the middle and along the pencil line. And then from the 2 to the 10. Okay, so what this will be is a triple pocket underneath. This is going here, this will flap open and you'll have dum 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 triple pockets. So, all I have to do I want to map the whole page? Oh, decisions. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have this pocket slightly shorter. No, I'm not. I'm going to have it the full width of the page. So just inside those score lines. I'm going to chop it off. And the reason I'm going just inside the score lines is because obviously this is going to be under a flap, so it has to fit under the flap. Okay. Next thing, I'm going to put tape up to the lines, or actually I'm going just over them. What I might do is put a couple of eyelets in, maybe. We'll see. Oops. And the other thing I want to do before I forget is, this is the bottom pocket, so I need to put score tape along the bottom edge here. There should be just enough room. I'm going to put a second bit of score tape, not score tape, red line tape on top of that. Just be careful when I take it off. Or you could just use wider tape. And I don't have mine at the moment, it's on order. Which is why I can't decorate the top of my box, because everything I want is on order. Okay, so you decorate this with 2 inch, or just under 2 inch, 1 7/8 strips of paper. So they're 1 7/8 by 9 1/8. Between 9 and 9 1/8. Check, measure it so that you know yourself. So yeah, see mine will be 9. By 1 7/8 each one, exactly the same. So 9, the decorative papers will be 9 by 1 7/8. Which I will cut now, and let's see if this works. Back in a mo. Okay, I've got my decorative papers on the front, and what I've done is I've cut it from one sheet of paper, but I started further down so that when I mat this at the top, it can carry on and look like just one sheet of paper, because I thought that would look really pretty. It looks like a chest of drawers or something. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to put some paper over the backs of these, and it's just going to be strips of black, thin black card. But I want to strengthen the top here, make sure that it's not going to tear. But secondly, when you're putting things in and out, it's going to stop them catching on the filigree bits that are left from stamping out the die. So I can't see whether. Aha. Couldn't see where the edge of the paper was. There we go. So I'm just going to stick some bits over here. So roughly how, and these are all, I think these are about 1 3/4 inches. Yep, these are all about 1 3/4 inches. So, like I said, they are just offcuts. So these are going here. This one's going here. Like I said, you don't have to be too exact. And then the one for the bottom is slightly shorter, I do believe. Yep, and that one's going there. I suppose I could just, no. Okay, so I'm going to do that, put that back. Sorry, that was probably mostly off the camera, but you get what I mean. So I'm going to stick these onto the back now, and that will make it stronger and stop everything from catching on the bottom when you put it in. And I think I'm going to have a wider piece down here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to release that, and I'm going to put an extra bit on top. Oops, that's gone up a bit, but that's okay, the pocket will still be deep enough. I mean, the bottom pocket's just basically a little tuck spot, really. Okay, so I'm going to get these bits on, and then I'm going to get it into the book and show you that. Okay, I'm ready to start assembling. I'm going to have this just plain on the back here, so I'll do that way after. I thought I'd better do this first, because you have to put this pocket, this flap, on first. Make sure I got it the right way up. Right, flap first. And this goes on the outer edge of the pocket, of the page. there's that bit. And then this pocket goes on. Yeah. And I haven't chosen my mat yet because I wanted to put this on first and then measure it to see just how. I suppose it should go on first, really, shouldn't it? And I don't mind if it goes over slightly. So I know it is about an inch, so it needs to be no lower than that. So let's just get this. So I've got bits of paper and all sorts everywhere. Okay, let's ink the top of this. And where's that one? Yeah, this is going on first. Oh dear, I can't see a thing. There's my edge, there's my edge. It's been a long day, again. Yep. Oops, bending this up a bit, never mind. Okay, let's get the tape off the back here. Take the backing off. Glue on. Okay. This should be done. Okay, it needs to go close but not up to the edge. So this should, I can't even see the edge bit there. Yep, that's it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 pockets with hardly any bulk. So yeah, this the inner flap of this I shall do plain, and what I should probably do is when I finish that I'll show that at the beginning of the next video. So that is page 3 basically done. Obviously it's going to need a couple of, it's going to need tags and stuff in there so you can see what it's for. Yeah. So yeah, page 3 basically done, page 4 ready to be done. So yeah, I'll just get the other side of this matted up. If there's any other little extra bits, they'll all be shown at the beginning of page 4. Bye for now.